Hi everyone, I am back for another Fable and reading. I don't know if I'm going to do these every single day for the rest of November or just kind of every couple days, but you know, we'll see how it plays out. I really have enjoyed it. So if you watched my first one, I did start a playlist of Into the Wild Woods, and so if you missed that one, you can click on the playlist and catch that. But basically, I am just taking a book of Aesop's Fables and randomly picking a fable and then drawing 3 cards. Right now is the John. I'm kind of gonna probably intend on staying mostly with the John Bauer Tarot. I might mix it up a little bit and pull from the Fairy Tale Tarot and read a story from there. We'll see how it goes, right? We'll stay flexible here. So I'm just going to pick out a fable. There we go. I'll get a short one today. So here we have The Goose That Laid the Golden Egg. A certain man had a goose that laid him a golden egg every day. Being of a covetous turn, he thought if he killed his goose, he should come at once to the source of his treasure. So he killed her and cut her open, when great was his dismay to find that her inside was in no way different from that of any other goose. Greediness overreaches itself is the moral of this story, right? That we can kill the magic, which is basically what he has done here, is he has killed the magic that was there by, I'm trying to find something here to keep the pages open. Oh, and I am good. Here we go. Let's take my gorgeous piece of Tibetan quartz, which mostly is around because it likes to work with ancestor energy, but I think that he'll be all right holding my page open. But yes, this is this idea of, you know, we have this desire to, we get this wonderful thing that comes into our lives, right? We get this wonderful bit of magic, or we find this piece of something special, and we get greedy. We don't just aren't accepting and happy for what it is that we have, but we want more, and we also want to get to the bottom of it and understand what it was, because it's kind of twofold. He wanted to come to the source of this treasure, get to the bottom of what's causing this to happen. Plus, he was also greedy because he was hoping he would find, you know, 100 eggs in there, I suppose. So there is an idea of greediness, but there is also that idea of needing to sort of get to the why is this? What is the answer? Why is this happening? Why is it working this way? Even when it's good things, which is so interesting. We do that, of course, to ourselves when bad things are happening, right? That was a big problem for me in the past, was this idea of why is this happening? Something that is unjust, something that is unfair, something that it doesn't make sense to a world that this would happen, was something that plagued me for a long time. Now there are many things that people start, okay, well, it's, you know, it's your fault. You've done something wrong, or there's generational karma. Somebody in your family did something wrong. Sins of the father passing on. There's all kinds of things that we can do to point the finger at figuring out what's wrong, why something that is bad is happening. But the flip side of that is that we often do that when good things occur as well. Instead of just enjoying the gift that we were given, we have to dissect it. We have to break it apart. We have to figure out what it is. This little bit of magic in the world that we come across that we can't just enjoy for a magical moment, but we have to dissect it and destroy it. We find a 4-leaf clover, and in that moment that we see the 4-leaf clover, we think, oh, that's a bit of good luck, right? We have this burst of happiness because we found this piece of good luck. And then our over logical minds have to go into place, and how often is it that a 4-leaf clover can occur in the natural environment, and it's just this random happenstance that this happened, and by the time you're done, you've completely killed a magical moment. Or we find, we stumble on a relationship with somebody, and instead of enjoying that, we're constantly picking away at it, and it can't really be as good as we think it is. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we can destroy relationships that are good simply by overanalyzing and trying to dig to the bottom of things. There's a lot of different ways that you can approach this concept of really not just accepting the gift of something that has come into your life and enjoying it. If this certain man who had a goose that laid a golden egg had just been like, oh my goodness, thank you, right? Oh, this is wonderful. I have a golden egg. I have money to make repairs on my house. I have money to feed my family. I can better myself in life. He may have continued to get golden eggs, right? He could have gotten a golden egg every day, or he could have once a month gotten a golden egg, or he may never have gotten a golden egg again, but he'd have that one piece of wonder. And instead, he killed all potential of being able to have that gift continue to grow by getting greedy and also wanting to figure out how, getting to the source of it, which is I think, it's a good lesson, right? It's something to pay attention to. So keeping that in mind, I'm so glad I pulled this. Look, here's the Strength card. This is seriously have to be one of my favorite images for a Strength card. I just want to get a giant print of this. Doesn't that just make your heart swell? It makes my heart swell. It makes my heart swell. So here we have the Seven of Swords. In the middle, because I pulled that from the middle, and then on either side we have the Nine of Swords here, and we have the Strength cards here. Now this is an interesting one, right? Because here with the Seven of Swords, and because I'm learning this deck and really enjoying it, I will be taking a peek here, because I'm going to do a walkthrough of this deck, I promise, but I wanted to use it a little bit because it's not a traditional tarot. So you can start though with your traditional tarot, which often has somebody stealing something in Rider-Waite-Smith, but the number 7 for me is about growth out of stability. So there is a certain amount of growth of the mind that can happen when you stabilize the mind, because the swords are about the suit of the mind. Let me find the swords here. I need to mark these if we're going to be doing this. So here we have a knight is rushing forward on a horseback. The trail is long and troublesome and being done at a dark time. So there are lots of clouds. You can see that while we have these winding trail going up here, we can see that it's actually dark. And so this is interesting, right? So this is about, in this deck, this is about choosing the correct path. Which is interesting. I'm just trying to correlate this with the Seven of Swords, say in the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I don't know that you can necessarily, except for that it's dark. So why is this knight riding out in the dark, right? So he obviously has this goal to get to this place in mind. He needs to choose his path wisely as he does so, and yet he's doing it under the cover of night, which means that there is some degree of urgency, right? So I can see that you could associate it with the Rider-Waite-Smith there. For me, for this idea of growth and movement, the number 3 coming out of the number 4, which is stability, right? There is some growth here, but he is going, if he's going to grow in his mind, right, from a place of stability, this figure is kind of riding off into the dark, versus perhaps what would have been smarter is to have waited till morning. And because this is quite precarious, you can see that this is leading into a very precarious pathway there. And so it would have been better for him. He may completely miss the mark. We don't know. But he may completely miss the mark because he just went gung-ho go off in the middle of the night versus waiting. So, you know, you can tell yourself a story, because this is what this is about, right? You can tell yourself a story that he got a message, right? That there was a goose with a golden egg up in the house, or there was some princess that he was going to be able to fall in love with and live happily ever after up in that tower, right? So there is this gift up here. He's found out that there is something precious up here in this tower. And instead of waiting until the light of the morning so that he could more easily make his way up to and perhaps ensure that he is able to gain access to that, he rides off in the middle of the night and plows forward and has the potential for losing what it was that he was looking for. In fact, we can see that over here with the Nine of Swords. It's interesting because the Nine of Swords to me, in Rider-Waite-Smith, of course, this is considered the nightmare card, right? So we have this weeping woman here. But I also love that this woman is just bent over with her hands in her head, because I feel like that very often with my brain. The number 9 is about a lot of energy, dynamic energy that's bouncing around in your head. Now, this could be used for good, right? All of this mental energy could be used to create something really powerful, to figure out a way to get what it is that you're looking for, to find the right path, to say, you know what, I probably should wait and not go out in the dark of the night. In the dark of the night, evil will find you. Oh, 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 in the dark of the night. Watch Anastasia. That was one of my son's favorite songs. Anyways, but the number 9, with all that energy bouncing around, can also create the sense of false urgency. It can create a sense of exaggeration. I have to leave this very moment. Our real fears of perhaps losing out on the golden egg or the damsel in the castle, which may be logistically a possibility, gets exaggerated until all of a sudden we're having this nightmare. We're going to lose everything. We have to run out right now and go up the giant cliff face here, up to the top of the castle, and potentially risk losing everything. Again, we're reading this off of the basis of our story, right? So I actually think this is an interesting combination here of this. But what we have, though, is where we should have gone, right? Look at the Strength card. She's pausing. She is putting her face to the bear, and she is having this moment of, wait a minute, hold up, right? Hold up. Let's go about this, and she's just completely sunk into the gift. She's not afraid of the bear. She's not freaking out. She's not wondering to herself, how can I be sitting here with this giant bear and my head to this bear, and just be sitting here, my little self with this giant bear. How is this happening? How is this real? I should be scared. I should be afraid. I should be running away. Instead, she's just sitting there and being in the moment. So we see a real contrast in these cards of sitting and being in the moment and having then the strength to gain what it is that you're looking for at the top of this hill, versus being all over the place, exaggerating, overactive mind, overanalyzing. Let's get to the heart of this. Let's take care of this now. Let's go, immediately. And again, running the risk of actually destroying what it is that you are trying to accomplish. So I know that was a circuitous route to a reading, but that's the fun for me. That's the fun in this particular endeavor, is to kind of take a fable and a story and then weave another story. And this deck, I think, is excellent for that to be able to happen. And it just makes me full of joy that I would receive one of my favorite cards in the deck, and one of my favorite strength cards. So that makes me a very happy person. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will talk to you another day.